What's going on, Hard Cut Bully fam? We live and direct at the Hard Cut Bully Doghouse. Today is part 4 of American Bully Flaws. We're going over ears, eyes, and muzzle. Everything on the head, pretty much. I got my girl Black Cherry with me. I got my boy Chucky back there. Hey, stay tuned, man. Let's get it. Okay, so let's get straight into it. We're gonna start on the head. We're gonna start with the ears first. And I have this chart here that's going to show you the ears, it's going to show you the correct and the incorrect. Now on that top row, you'll see the farthest one over, you'll see is what's called a rose ear. And this is correct. This is when you can see some of the inside of the ear, and the tip of the ear is over. But it's not, it's kind of over like that. But you can still see the inside of the ear. So it's not collapsed on his head. And they're equally apart. The one in the middle is the cropped one. This is one of the only classes that you'll see where one of the standards of the registry is you can have cropped ears. So you can have what I call floppy ears, the regular normal ears, but they have to be in this fashion, what they call a rose ear. And if you don't want that, you have to have them cropped in this fashion. The second one is the last one I'll say is the half prick. Well, the ear is still standing up and it's pointing, the tip of the ear pointing straight down. See? But you still have rise in the back of the ear. You can still see, looking forward, you can still see the inside of the ear a little. That's a prick. That's good. So if you look at the chart, the top row is all the correct ways that you can have good ears. Now the bottom row is the incorrect one. And you can see that that it's got a full drop. That means the ear is pretty much just laying on the top of his head and flopped down. That is not correct per our standard. Now if you was a German Shepherd, the German Shepherd's ears got to go a certain way. Great Danes, everything has a certain way that they do their ears, and this is ours. So if it's flat on the head, pointing down, that's incorrect. That's called a full drop. The other way is if the ear is standing straight up. We're not German Shepherds. So if the ear is up, it's called a full prick. If the ear is up, and you can see all of the inside of the ear, and the tip is going up or at an angle anywhere. If the tip ain't going down at all, that's a full prick. That is not, that's a fault. That's not how bullies are supposed to be. So now, is the program done if you have that? No, that's just one flaw. To be breed stock, you have to have 2 flaws or less. So that is one flaw. If you get another flaw, you right there on the edge of another flaw, then it's not breed stock anymore, it's pet quality. The whole purpose of these videos is so that you can get an understanding of what a pet quality dog is, what a show quality dog is, and what a breed stock dog is, so that you don't pay show quality for pet quality. Hey, if this is good information, leave a comment. Leave something in the comment to let me know that this is information and content that you appreciate. If you're not a member of the family, go ahead and take a second and subscribe. Hit that subscribe button, hit that notification bell, and you'll keep up to date on everything that we do every time we drop a video. And get you some hard cut, man. Next thing is the eyes. And you can see this chart. It's got about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 different ways that you can have that the eyes can be wrong. But the biggest picture is the correct one. Now you can see they're kind of oval or almond-shaped eyes, and they're equally separated. They're not pointing in or out, and they're pretty much symmetrical to each other, right at the right place in the eyes, in the head. They're not pushed in and not bulging. Okay, so let me read this. Eyes, as far as eyes, all colors are equally accepted except albinism, pinkish to red. If the albino dog, all the melanin has been taken out of it, they'll have like a pink and red looking eyes, that's not, that's a fault. That is a disqualification. Which is a disqualification? Blue eyes, lack of pigment around the eyes are undesirable. So they didn't say blue eyes are outlawed. I'm trying to see mine dog. She doesn't have blue eyes. They didn't say blue eyes are outlawed or disqualification, but they said blue eyes are undesirable. So if you was in the ring with the judge at a show, he's not gonna punish you for that. But if you have a perfect dog and you're going against a perfect dog, if your dog's eyes is blue, you're gonna lose. Is the eye shape? The eye shape is oval to almond shape, like I said. Low down in the skull. I mean, they're not all up here. They down, like the girls be painting the eyebrows in the wrong place. That's how we see somebody bullied. They down right above the nose where it's supposed to be. You think you will be surprised at stuff that you see, even at a dog show. So this is why it has to be rolled out as standardized. Round eyes are undesirable, and bulging or protruding eyes are a fault. So if the eyes are not almond shaped, they're just kind of round, they're still okay, but it's not desirable, just like the blue eyes. But if the eyes are bulging or coming up, you can see so much of the eye bulging, that's a disqualification. It's not a disqualification, it is a fault. The visibility of the haw should be minimal. Faults. Overlie, visible haw, both eyes not matched in color, bulging or protruding eyes, disqualifying faults is albinism. So they're really not going to disqualify you in the ring for it unless it's albino. But you can see in the chart, it's got several ones that show you, like that one with the odd eye. There's two different colors with that eye. I don't know if you can see it in the picture. They got the blue eyes in there. You see the one where it's set too close. I see that a lot, and I see that in his eyes, and I think it's when they line breeding too tight. I think it's maybe some incest or something. I don't know. But there's some pretty famous bullies. They got eyes too close like that. So anyway, it's undesirable. It's just not disqualification. The only thing disqualifying is the albinism. So then you got one down there that's rounded, one with outward protruding, where it's kind of cockeyed, but to the opposite. Instead of pointing in, they point out. And then the other one where they're kind of cross-eyed to the inside. So that's just a variation of different eyes that you can look at when you're going to get your puppy. See how the eyes are set in the head, and that'll give you another flaw that you can take off the list. Now, this list of faults is very long. We'll get into that at the end. I'm going to read the whole list of the faults, what's a disqualifying fault, what's just an undesirable, and what's just a fault. Okay. Got that done. We got eyes and ears done. So now we'll look at muzzle. Let me get my girl Black Cherry here. She's a pretty good example. See how her muzzle is squared there? Okay. Now if you can see on the chart, the correct muzzle is kind of boxy, squared at the front, top is straight, the bottom is parallel to the top. It's not going up at an angle. It's kind of boxy. You can see the jaw well good. You can see the bottom of the mouth good too. That's correct. This next one is a snipey muzzle. That's not correct. That's where the muzzle is too narrow, and it's because the bottom jawline is going up towards the nose instead of going straight out with the parallel. This other one, terrier, the reason it's wrong is because it's a little longer and it's skinnier than it's supposed to be. It's too long and it's too skinny. There's another one, weak underjaw, which I think sometimes they'll call that an overbite or sometimes. But weak underjaw, you can see that you mostly don't even see the bottom of the jaw, which should be very well pronounced. underbite, which is what you get in a lot of bulldogs. My man Chucky, maybe pro, you know, he got kind of an underbite because he's exotic. And I would say that's just one flaw. He's got that. But you can see an underbite is when the bottom jaw is protruding. It's out further than the top. That's called an underbite. That's a flaw. And then you have too short muzzle. And that's when the muzzle is pushed all the way in. It's too pushed in. And on a lot of these exotics, you'll see that. You don't see it on the terrier style bullies. You know, like our producer, these don't really have that. But Chucky had, you know, he has that. So when I bred Chucky, I bred him so that his puppies did not have that short muzzle, because that short muzzle will make them breathe better. And you can see his son Drip. Hey, it came out right. Drip is lovely. No breathing problem, no muzzle problem at all. But anyway, too short of a muzzle is a flaw. So let me go ahead and read you a little bit of what it says on this so you'll know it specifically. Muzzle, short, medium in length, and broad in width. It's like I was saying, kind of boxy. Length to be shorter than the length of the skull, which is the distance from the tip of the nose to the occiput. So it shouldn't be half the distance. That's what terrier is. Like if you have a wide the dog's head is, it shouldn't be half of that. That's a terrier. It should be a little bit under that. The muzzle is blocky or slightly squared to fall away abruptly below the eyes. The top line of the muzzle is to be straight with the nose neither pointed nor turned up in profile. A lot of times you see them exotics, the muzzle, the nose is going back towards that. That is a fault. It's not what we're looking for. And a lot of times what messes up on exotics is that we breed one dog like that to another dog like that. And then you're going to start to, you're doubling up on flaws, you're going to have problems. You're going to have breeding problems and all that. So you got to be careful. Like I said, when I bred Chucky, I bred him to a terrier face bully. And it brought the bullies right. And he didn't have any in his litter that had a muzzle pushed in. So it is capable of doing it. You just can't be doubling up on it. The muzzle's blocked. Jaws well defined. Underjaw to be strong and parallel to the muzzle, like I was saying, not going up toward it. Never turning upward. Lips semi-close and even. Minimal looseness accepted but not preferred. False. Is the muzzle is too long or snipey is a fault. Muzzle so short as to interfere with the normal breathing is a fault. Lack of pronounced cheek and deep stop is a fault. Weak underjaw is a fault. Underjaw turning up is a fault. Nose turning up or pushed back is a fault. And excessive flues. I don't know what they mean by excessive flues. I'd have to look that up. And that's pretty much everything on the muzzle. So when I generally can pick this out real early, you can see this in the first. You can see this in the first few weeks of the litter. At least first 8 weeks, you definitely can see what kind of muzzle it's going to have. So these are I'm trying to tell you a lot of flaws that you can see when it's just a pup, so that you don't even get into, you don't even pick the wrong one and wait for it to turn into some magical Cinderella. It ain't gonna do it. If it had flaws like this from the beginning, they ain't gonna grow out no flaws. Okay, so let's get to the end of this, because I want to show you a whole list of what they consider flaws, and it's an extensive list. It's a whole lot. We got a lot of stuff to go through. We got one more of the series, so be sure you get that, because I'm gonna go over a whole bunch. Okay, here we go. What are faults, period? So first of all, I'm gonna give you what are faults, period. What are serious faults? I'll give you after that what are serious faults, and then I'm gonna give you what are disqualifying faults that you just cannot have. Okay. So the first are just faults, and it's an extensive list, so bear with me. Faults to be penalized but not disqualifying for showing are both eyes not matched in color, neck too short or too long, overly visible haw, upright shoulders, bulging or protruding eyes, steep and forward scapula or shoulder blade, muzzle too long or snipey, upper arm too short, lack of pronounced deep stop, severe turn fronts, in or out, underjaw turning up, weak underjaw, bold front legs, down at the pastern, weak pasterns, splayed or flat feet, albinism in the nose. If it's had a light pink nose, not just red, but a light pink nose, that's a fault. Nose turning up or pushed back, long toes, tail too long or too short, hocks turning in or out, cowhawk, curled tail or gay tail, curly or wavy coat, movement, rolling, pacing, sidewinding, hacky action, or paddling or pounding that's to do with all the movement of the dog while it's walking. So a lot of times you can just tell if a dog has flaws if you just watch the puppy walk or run or something. Level or flush bite, not moving on the same plane, legs overreaching, crossing over in front or rear legs moving too close or touching. That's to do with the gait of their walk. Ride or cross bite, neck too thin or weak. Those are all just flaws. So that's about, I don't know how many, I didn't count them, there's about 30 flaws. Now here are the serious flaws. These are flaws to be heavily penalized but not disqualifying for show. Okay, severely overshot or undershot, keeped tail, twisted tail, knotted tail, fused tail, overly short tail, or long coats. Bullies are not supposed to have wavy, curly hair. That's long coat. We ain't supposed to have that. Any of that is a serious fault. We ain't dealing with any of that. Especially the tail problems. Okay. Disqualifications. Disqualifying or possessing aggressive behavior towards humans is a disqualifying fault. We don't even breed those. Now, this is if you get a disqualifying fault, meaning they kick you out of the ring because of this. The judges say you gotta leave because of this fault. That means your dog should not be bred. That we're telling you that we don't want to see that in the pedigree no more. Pink or albino eyes, merle pattern, blotch per competition. Now, I didn't write this down there. It's already on the list. You can see it on the list on the screen. Merle pattern is disqualification in ABKC. Unilateral or bilateral cryptocurrency, that's missing one or both of the testicles. I know I didn't say it right, kind of bushy, but it means you're missing one or two of the testicles. That's disqualifying for breed stock and for competition. Unilateral or bilateral, that's just what I said. Unilateral or bilateral deafness. Deafness in one or both of the ears is disqualifying. Screw tail, bobtail, or docktail. Any of those things are disqualifying for the ring and disqualifies you for breed stock. It has been designated. If you have this on your dog anywhere, it is designated as pet stock immediately. You cannot sell this to people that want to breed it and get puppies. They'll be irresponsible. Man, this is part 4 of a part 5 series. This is my girl Cherry. You can see she ain't got no problems. You know, she's not perfect, but like I said, if you've got 2 or less flaws, and a lot of you that have exotics, you have more than 2 flaws, but that's exotic. So we're not going to get, I could, Mr. Miyagi, I could pick him apart with pink tails and all kind of stuff, the backs and all kind of stuff, the bite. But I want you to see these flaws and what they are so that when you see an exotic that doesn't have that, you know what you got. you know you got something special. You get an exotic with a full tail, no kink in it, good muzzle, good bite, good eye set, the ears are right, straight back. You know, when you get a good exotic, you'll know. And if you got one that's totally ate up, you'll know that too. So anyway, tune in to hardcutbully.com every time you can, man. Hit that notification bell. We'll keep you updated. Follow us on TikTok. Follow us on YouTube, on Instagram at hardcutbully.com. And it ain't too late to come on off the bench for the big win, man. And get you something hard cut. So.